For almost 10 years, power users have been waiting for Nvidia to release a true successor to the Shield TV Pro. That box became legendary because it wasn't just another cheap streaming stick. It was built around the same Tegra X1 hardware family that Nintendo used in the Switch. It had serious power. Well, this week at Computex, Nvidia finally announced something genuinely exciting. But they aren't using it to build a new £200 streaming box. Instead, they are pushing it straight into premium laptops and mini PCs. And for anyone trying to build a powerful living room setup, this is actually a much bigger deal. This might be the real Shield successor, just not in the form most people expected. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know why the Shield TV Pro still gets talked about. It wasn't built like a basic streaming stick. It had proper power behind it. Good for Plex, local playback, game streaming, emulation, all things power users actually cared about. That's why so many people have been waiting for a Shield TV 2. But Nvidia has been quiet in that space for years. Amazon has been moving towards more locked down Fire TV devices. Google TV boxes are getting better, but most still run fairly basic hardware. And budget mini PCs have got more interesting, but they're usually built around low power office style chips. So we've had plenty of small boxes, but not that, wow, this is more powerful than it needs to be moment. That's the moment the Shield gave us. And that's why this new announcement matters. It's called RTX Spark. Here's the simple version of what RTX Spark is. Nvidia has built a single, powerful chip combining an ARM-based CPU and high-end RTX graphics. At the top end, it features a 20-core processor co-developed with MediaTek, paired with Nvidia's new Blackwell RTX graphics, packing over 6,100 CUDA cores. Crucially, it supports up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory. In a normal budget mini PC, you have a weak chip trying to handle Windows, your media, and your graphics all at once. They hit the wall quickly. RTX Spark is different. Because the CPU and GPU are built together and share the same ultra-fast memory pool, the performance leap is massive. This is the same philosophy that made the original Shield so good, just scaled up for a modern Windows machine. And the key detail? This isn't just a chip for thin laptops. Mini PCs and small desktops are already part of the launch. ASUS has announced a ProArt Mini PC powered by RTX Spark, a 150mm cube with 140 watts of thermal headroom, 10 gigabit Ethernet, and PCIe Gen 5 expansion. And Nvidia has confirmed compact desktops coming later this year from ASUS, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft, and MSI, with more to follow. So we don't have to say maybe one day someone will put this in a mini PC. It's already happening. And that's where it gets interesting for this channel. Because over the last year, we've been looking more and more at mini PCs as an alternative to Fire Sticks and Android boxes. You get proper desktop apps, more storage, a real browser, emulators, media center software, real accessories, and you're not locked into the same App Store restrictions we're seeing on streaming devices. The downside has always been power and polish. An N100 style box does a lot, but it's not a high-end gaming machine. RTX Spark could change that at the premium end. To be clear, Nvidia is not pitching this as a Shield TV replacement. Their main pitch is AI, Windows PCs that run local AI agents, creative tools, and development workloads. But from our point of view, the interesting question is what happens when that same hardware ends up in a compact mini PC under your TV. Suddenly, you're not talking about a basic streaming box. You've got a small Windows machine with serious Nvidia graphics, a powerful ARM CPU, and a huge pool of unified memory. One small box for streaming, local media, PC apps, game streaming, cloud gaming, and potentially more stronger emulation than budget boxes. I'm not saying it replaces a gaming PC, and I'm not saying every emulator runs perfectly on day one. But compared with the small, low-power mini PCs most people buy today, this could be a massive jump if the software support is there. And that if matters. But before we declare this the ultimate emulation box, we need a reality check. First, software. This is an ARM-based Windows platform. Windows on ARM has improved a lot, but compatibility still needs proper testing. Some apps run brilliantly, some run through translation, some older tools have issues, and emulators especially depend on drivers and optimization. The encouraging sign is that Nvidia and Microsoft clearly know this is the battle. But for the living room, software we care about, emulators, media tools, launchers, we need real devices and real testing first. Second, price. These are not £150 Amazon Mini PCs. This is premium silicon, Blackwell RTX graphics, a Grace CPU, up to 128GB of unified memory. Expect the first RTX Spark Mini PCs to be expensive. But the Shield Pro was never the cheapest box either. It survived by offering something different for people who wanted more power and a device that would last. That might be exactly the space these end up in. Not for someone who just wants Netflix and YouTube, but for power users who want one small box under the TV that does far more than a Fire Stick. The timing is what makes this land. Amazon is moving towards Vega OS, Google is tightening Android sideloading, app stores are getting more controlled, and a lot of you are already eyeing mini PCs because you want something more open. So maybe the real Shield successor was never going to be another Android TV box. Maybe it's a powerful mini PC, small enough for the living room, but powerful enough to behave like a proper computer. So is RTX Spark the Nvidia Shield TV 2? No, not officially, but it is the most interesting Shield-style hardware direction we've seen in years. I think it might be. Now I want to know what you think. If Nvidia never makes a Shield TV 2, could an RTX Spark Mini PC be the next best thing? And would you pay premium money for one under your TV? Or are you sticking with cheaper boxes? Drop it in the comments. And if you want to see more mini PC content, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.